Hello, my beloved. Welcome to a new opportunity to hear a new story because it's hot, it's ripe, it's ready, and it's an absolute surprise. So I'm sharing this with you because it is a early birthday present and a get well wish for my dearly beloved cousin, my cousin Buddy. My cousin Buddy is well known to many people, but not well known to some. And I want to share this story with you that I just recently shared with him. So listen up, get ready to share and subscribe, and have a great time listening to this brand new story. This is Alyce Smith Cooper offering you a wonderful surprise experience. Sit back and enjoy. Oh, buddy, this story is being recorded. It's the first time anybody has heard it because it's the first time I've told it. That's right. Yes, it is. But I've been thinking about it, and it all came about because of the videotaping that we did with cousin Laura a couple years ago. Right. The one that we were able to send to the committee that was putting together her final services, which I might say were beautiful, absolutely beautiful. All three of them, because she had a viewing on Monday night. She had a service with a repast on Tuesday at the church that she'd gone to for over 70 years. And then she had a committal of her body in Riverside at the graveside, in the same cemetery that her parents were buried in. And that's called Evergreen over there off of 14th and Brockton. Yeah, yeah. So in the course of the second ceremony, which was the church service, they showed excerpts of the video that you and I did with her at her house. And they edited it so it wasn't the whole story that we recorded because we had a couple of hours with the film there. But I remembered a component of the 2 hour session that we did. And as I think about what our overriding theme has been, how I got my seat at the table where inclusion and equity is concerned, I thought about a part of that video that you enjoyed immensely because you've talked about it since, where she reached out to me, physically reached out, like punched me, and she had a powerful punch. Yes. I can tell you that little lady could punch like a flyweight, and she got your attention just like that. Right. It hurt me. It hurt me physically, and it hurt me mentally because of what she was saying. Because she was talking at that time about her experience as an Eastern Star and how she had helped to establish the group of Eastern Stars, that the chapter of Eastern Stars that led to the Sisters of Isis chapter that was created there in Riverside in whatever year that it was done. It's over 40 years old, the chapter is. And then she looked at me and she said, that's when she started punching me. She said, what happened to you? What? Why didn't you follow up? And I'm going, I'm hurt in the first place. I'm really hurt because I wanted that. I wanted that in the most desperate way as a little girl, because I saw such beauty in what they did. At Park Avenue Baptist Church, where I grew up, and Second Baptist, because I went there too, I saw them parade in on their Sunday. I hope you can hear Buddy, because he's chiming in with their white fezzes with the red tassel, and their white dresses, and their purple sashes with the gold fringe. And in those days, they wore white stockings and white shoes.
Yes.
And they carried staffs. And they marched in cadence. And whatever the music was, I don't remember what the music was, but they marched to the music, and they stomped their staffs down, and they made that right angle turn in just like they were a marching band. And they came forth and they took their seats and they participated in the service. And I just thought that was the best thing since ice cream and cake and your birthday.
Yeah.
Because I saw these women all week long. They worked in service. They worked in white people's homes. Some of them, if they were really fortunate, they might have taught school, or my Aunt Wilhelmina was one, and she was the first Black person to ever work at Harris's department store when they opened up in Riverside. There were no Black people working in those positions. They were elevated in the community. And as far as I knew, this was the highest elevation that I had ever seen, was their white dresses, their fezzes. I didn't know what all that meant. I didn't know what the marching meant. I didn't even know what they did, except they come to church on those Sundays, and they marched in, and they made me proud.
Yeah.
And I knew that my grandfather had one of those fezzes, and so a tie clip, which I still have, that had a symbol on it. It had a G on it, and it looked like a triangle to me, upside down, but it wasn't closed at the bottom. I didn't know what any of that meant, but I just knew that it was something that gave them great pride and great status, in my estimation, and in the rest of the community, because everybody didn't get a chance to march in Park Avenue Baptist Church.
No.
Reverend Leander B. Moss didn't play that.
Was that symbol from the Masons?
Yes, sir. Yes, it was. Because this was a part of the Masonic family. And that's what she was punching me out about, saying, why didn't you participate? Well, I tried. I wanted that. Growing up, I saw that as something that was wonderful. But even though I never understood what they were talking about when they were talking about the battle of the sexes, I didn't get that. I didn't understand that. But when it came to and I was of the age when I could have participated, I was married by that time to James Cooper. He was a Marine.
Right.
And his mindset was that of a warrior, but of a military warrior in the Western sense.
Right.
And having come from Texas, Houston, Texas, 3rd Ward, and then come to Riverside in the late 50s, early 60s, to see the kind of racism that we lived amongst and amidst, the Masonic way did not appeal to him. He didn't get it in the way that I got it, and it didn't appeal to him, and he did not want to go through what it took to be involved. So therefore, since I was married to him, even though my grandfather was a 32nd degree Mason and Shriner and all that indicated, I had no access because I was a female in the family. So when she punched me like that, and you just thought that was so funny, but I broke into tears.
I remember.
Because I couldn't go any further. I wasn't allowed. So consequently, I delved into it as much as I could, but I realized that if I didn't go in the way that they prescribed me to go, that I would not have the status. And that was so important to me. I wouldn't have the recognition. You could go into underground kind of chapters, just like if you're a sorority member and you don't go into the righteous chapter of the AKAs or the Deltas or whatever, you can go into a subterranean one, a covert one, but you're never really realized as being or whatever, symbols they give. And you're never really recognized. You're never really included. And inclusion was what was so very important to me. As an only child, you know how important it was for me to be included. I came over to I came over to your house and ate your beans when you had 8 or 9 other 10, 11 other mouths to feed. Didn't make me no difference.
Whole bunch of them.
I came, put my feet up underneath your table, and Aunt Jean ladled me up the same bowl of beans she ladled you all up. I didn't even know if she got a bowl or your daddy. I know your daddy got one, but I didn't know she got one. Because inclusion was what was so important to me. So when she punched me like that, and I saw that on the videotape again, it brought up for me all of that angst that I have had for so many years regarding being included.
Right.
Being brought in, never mind that I was an only child and an only grandchild for 15 years. So that I latched myself on to anybody's family, all their kids, whether their mamas and their daddies like me or not, I still showed up.
Right.
Because it was important for me to be included. Now, fortunately, I chose some good families, and the mamas usually accepted me. Nobody turned me away. No, Mother Carter didn't turn me away. Mrs. Burrell didn't turn me away. Aunt Jean didn't turn me away. The Norris family didn't turn me away. The Beverly family, the Strickland family, none of them turned me away. But I wasn't a part of them.
Right.
Until COVID hit. And I got a call from this brother. And he called me cuz. And that just opened my eyes, woke me up, pulled me up out of the doldrums of the aftermath of being shut away from the rest of the world. Talk about a lack of inclusion. And being closed off even from my own family, my own nuclear family, what's left of it. Because I was over here in my house, they were over there in their house, wearing masks and quivering with each newscast.
Yeah.
But I got a call from this brother that said, cuz, we're meeting. You know about Zoom? We're meeting on Zoom. And we need you to come. I need you to meet the folks that I know. Some of them you already know, but most of them you don't. He said, because you remember Synanon, don't you? Well, that opened up another cell in my brain to bring me memories of inclusion. Because I'm gonna tell you, the game ain't nobody excluded from the game.
No, you don't get no pass.
Yeah, you don't. No pass. No pass. And so it opened up another cell of memory for me. And those cells of memory have continued to, very much like if you can see the dress that I'm wearing today. Interesting that it would have this kind of a pattern of petals that start from a central place and then continue to grow out. Inclusion in another way. Inclusion in a group of people who held no expectations other than that you come and be authentic. be willing to share your love. And that inflamed my curiosity about this storytelling venture that we're on, and that I'm so passionate about including others in. Because what I didn't understand about what the Eastern Star were doing, and what I understood or even understand now, because I'm not a part of it, it's a secret society, which is why they require that you come in certain kinds of ways, very specific. So I don't really know how it all goes, but in my sacred imagination, my sanctified imagination, what I can see of it, the fezzes, the tassels, the symbols of triangles and building implements, indicated to me that they were talking about the building of culture, the establishment of people in a cultural environment that reflected their historical roots and depth. As it relates to back to further than Egypt, Mesopotamia, and who knows, maybe even Atlantis and other places, other civilizations that appear to have disappeared, but that we are still here championing we're the champions for. And those civilizations were built upon a foundation of loving care, compassion, peace, and caring for the planet on which we live. That much I know about. Now, the rest of the secret stuff, I don't pretend to know. And unless I am taken in by the creator of it all to know it, I won't know it, because I'm past that stage of initiation. But what I'm clear about now, and the purpose of this story, is to help us to understand as African peoples, as deeply melanated people, that we stem from billions of years of culture, far beyond this planet upon which we now stand. The Eastern Star is an indicator that we function far beyond our galaxy, that we have knowledge far beyond what we are able to see, hear, or touch at this moment. That the attempt has been made to erase from our memories the fact that we are the carriers, where our ancestors came from, the planets, the Dogon, the Palladians, all of these extraterrestrial names that we hear bantered around at this point in time. And whenever you see an image of them, they're either images of light, which is probably pretty accurate, or they're very Europeanized, blonde hair, blue eyes, lack of melanin.
Yeah.
So the lies that have been told and perpetrated even unto this very day are the truths turned upside down. How we have been denigrated, how we have been attempted to be extinguished in the most brutal ways. They didn't work. Unto this very day, they do not work. And what Cousin Laura was trying to say to me was, open your mouth and tell your story.
Exactly.
And bring some others along with you that can tell their story.
What happened to you? She said, well, what happened to me was I was slowed down, but I wasn't stopped. There's something about being a little bit peculiar that keeps you going. And if you don't believe that, just look at what you see. Clearly, there's a little something different. My grandchildren call me extra. They don't necessarily always mean that in a positive way, but I took it to mean, yeah, you're right. I am extra this and extra that. And mostly, I'm extra connected to the spirit that has kept us alive, kept us vibrant, kept us creating the music, manipulating the vibrations, surfing the waters of creativity, and riding the crest of the waves, not just waves, tsunamis of change. We're not afraid of the solar flares. I say bring them on. We're not afraid of the electromagnetic storms. I say let them rage. We're not fearful of the crumbling of the systematic mindsets of oppression that we have been wound so tightly in that we see now currently crumbling. The rats are leaving the sinking ship, because the ship is sinking. And it's sinking into a depth where it will not be resumed. It will not be exhumed, because what is coming out of that depth is a churning for the changes that we were created to live within all along, especially here on Turtle Island, as the native peoples call this continent upon which we live. And it's time for us to go back to the native prophecies, the Hopi, the Iroquois, the nations whose names my tongue doesn't even properly express in the beauty of what they are called and how they are known. It's time for us to reunite with the peoples of melanin and wisdom and the knowledge of how to live in peace, because that's what we're intended to be. And we get another chance. We get another chance. This is the top of the change of the universal calendar, billions of years old. And here we are living in this time. We're not still approaching the age of Aquarius. We are here. It's now. Wendell, you've got the music. You've got the ear. Andre, you've got the passion for pulling it forward, pulling it together. Wherever Melanie is, she's giving us the message. Show me the currency. What's going to make it work? We call it money. I call it energy. We call it food. I call it nutrients. How are we going to keep these bodies alive and vibrant well into our 120 or 40 or every many years we get? They say Methuselah lived how many? 900. Well, it'd be hard to even conceive of that, but what if it's true? What if, Andre, we could move far beyond what we currently see as possible? And you could live to see your great grandchildren progressing in history, bringing forth the hopes. What if we could see your son, Wendell, come out of the situation that he currently is finding himself in as a whole human being, able to move forward in his gifts in a way that makes us all feel joyful and proud. We have that ability. We have not come this far by any means to fail. So what happened to me? Thank you, Cousin Laura, for punching me out, waking me up.
I got to witness it.
And I have a witness.
Yeah.
I have a witness. Now that's the other part of it. We are functioning in victory. It doesn't look like victory to us right now, but we are functioning in victory. But there's a caveat. The victory has been won, but it's not complete until the testimony is given. We're the ones that are here to testify. Our stories are the testimony. And that's what we're here to do. So yes, American Rivers College, we're on it with you. Yes, the Educational Cultural Complex, we're on it with you. Yes, Mesa Community College, we're on it with you. Wherever we are found as educators, we are the priests. We are the healers. We are the staff carriers of wisdom. And that's what we get to do. And so I thank you, Cousin Laura Harris McElroy, for punching me out, waking me up in the presence of a witness, so that I'm reminded that we have a great responsibility and a golden era to usher in as we ride this tsunami of victory. But I'm just a storyteller. And I stepped on the nail, and the nail bent. And that's the way the story went.